All right, do a little revisiting of roads. We're going to start off at higher level enterprises where they buy, I guess, crappy cars and then refurbish them and sell them to people. Oh look, that one has a heads-up display. This is pretty cool, honestly. I see a lot of these that they have here. Oh, there's a Toyota Sienna about the year that I bought. They got some other ones they're working on in there. I really like the concept of it, and I'll probably buy my next car here. Maybe. We'll see how cheap. I don't know if they're actually open. I see these cars that don't have any plates on them, but they also don't have price tags. So it's a good question. I don't know, but I definitely like the concept. And he's basically teaching students, or like high school age kids, voc kids, how to fix cars. And as an automobile enthusiast, I have to appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to revisit some of the first beautiful roads here in Clintonville, because it's much nicer to do in the daytime. I can say that. I don't know how much daylight's going to help this fucking where we're about to go, but yo, you all remember Walhalla. I'm going to go back down that gimmick. And a few other ones. Oh, excuse me. How rude of me. So, I spent the weekend, if you recall from a few previous videos, I built my giant planter box that is 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall, and 8 feet long, with 3 6-foot trellises affixed to it. So a total of 8 feet, right on my fence. Can't do anything about it, you fucking asshole neighbor. And it turned out wonderfully. I gotta say that the quality of wood that you can buy at Lowe's at the moment is fairly poor. But since I wasn't doing anything fairly intricate, it should suffice. I gotta tell you, I moved probably about 900 pounds of lumber and soil and trees this weekend. Is this Walhalla? Yes. So that was great fun. I was very sore. I am very sore still. But yeah, so I built that planter box, and then I planted in my yard. I planted an eastern redbud on the back corner fence, and then I planted a dogwood of some kind about 10-15 feet away from that. And then I planted, well, there was the planter box, and then about 10 feet away from that I planted a Japanese maple blood god variety. And then let's see, and then in the front, I planted another eastern redbud. In the planter box itself, I planted, on the vines in the back row, I planted clematis, trumpet vine, and ivy. And then in the front row of it, I planted bog rosemary. What was the other thing? Bog rosemary, a dianthus, a bleeding heart, and an azalea. So, you know, should look pretty good. But they've been sitting in there happily, and I'm going to let them take root for the next over the summer. I might have to prune the ivy back because it can be very aggressive. But otherwise, should be an alright thing. Next year I'll definitely get in there and prune a little bit more. I know I'm going to have to keep up on the ivy quite a bit. I filled that box with the backfill dirt from the tree planting, and then like 2 layers of potting soil, and I still didn't have enough dirt. Like, I was only like barely halfway filled at that point. So I went and bought like 12 cubic feet of sphagnum peat moss. And like 2 cubic feet of tree and shrub soil. And then a layer of like Miracle-Gro garden soil. And that filled it up pretty nicely. Those plants should have a lot of, pretty much anything any plant should need to grow in that is going to be in that box. And since I put the topsoil in there, there should be some worms and things like that to help, you know, get the process moving along naturally. I don't know how root deep those roots will go. I hope deep. But if they manage to get to that topsoil layer at the bottom, they'll be well happy. It's kind of nice. The box is very well drained. I mean, there's no bottom to it. And yeah, so be a nice cluster of flowers. Had some pretty tasty Chinese food Saturday night. A little sesame beef. I enjoyed that. I'm not really terribly worried about my trees, but I don't know, it's like you planted a bunch of babies. So now I find myself all day at work today worrying about them. Like, I hope they're okay. I hope their roots are taking in. Hope they're acclimated to the soil. Like, I think maybe next year I might add a stone walkway from my driveway around the new eastern redbud that I planted, going to the backyard and terminating at the patio. And then I'll make a small retaining wall around the one thing. I think that'll look really good. I've never really worked with stone like that and brick. I mean, I have a few times, like as a like teenager, but the process seems pretty straightforward, and it'll look really nice when it's done. But I'd like to also I can't talk. Maybe on my, I guess if you're facing the house, it would be the right side of the driveway. I would like to basically, like, where my sidewalk to the front door meets the driveway, I want to just add a sidewalk going parallel to the driveway, like right on that side, adding it. Because I find that when I park both cars, if someone gets out of either side, then you have to then step on to the grass, which, you know, not a big deal, but it would widen my driveway a bit. It'd look nice. And so it'd be a good thing to do altogether. Man, I wonder what that bush is. That is awesome. That was a beautiful bush. That was a beautiful bush. I'd have liked to have gotten a cherry tree, but really couldn't find any that were the price I wanted. No, some of these are red buds. You get them confused from the. Damn, those bushes with the fucking purple flowers are awesome. Also, a lot of the plants that I planted are fucking highly toxic, which I think is cool as shit. But yeah, I'd like to, you know, build that out so it's got some definition to the spaces in the yard. I mean, like, full project wise, like the whole landscaping around my house, I'd really like to like on the north side of the house, I'd like to have that walkway, and I want to plant a couple more yew trees, well, shrubs. And I really like yew as a shrub because when they lose needles as they grow, they kind of self-mulch. And at my first house, I made the mistake of, when I got it in my head that I was going to make, I had this big yew bush beside my back patio, and so I start, like, you know, shaping it, because I wanted to shape it into the shape of the Enterprise D. So I was like, I mean, I came pretty close. I got the engineering section well shaped, and all I had to do was, like, keep maintaining that, and then let the top grow to make that arc out, and then let that saucer kind of grow out, which would have been, you know, what took a long time. And the warp nacelles, of course. But so I didn't live there long enough to actually get that going. But when I initially started trimming it out to do that, I raked out all the fucking needles from under it. And then I also made the double mistake of cutting off those bottom branches, because, you know, I wanted it to kind of float in the air, which would have been fine if I'd have left the fucking needles there. But since I raked out those needles, I soon found out that I had like tons of fucking vines and shit growing up through the bush at that time. And so that wasn't such a great idea, but you know, what are you gonna do? That's how you learn. Yeah, so, you know, initial mistakes aside, with that, I won't make that mistake with the other one. Yeah, find one of those bushes in a park and figure out what the fuck that is, because that thing was dope. This is Overbrook, by the way. We've been here before. Now we're here again. You can actually see it. Did she go sit? You want to sit at the park? So yeah, on the north side, I want to do that pathway, add a couple more bushes, kind of fill that out. It also needs a path going from my garage door to that sidewalk. Because right now there's just a big rock there, and it's kind of stupid. You just have to like walk over mulch. It's not like you didn't, whoever fucking put that there, it's like you didn't finish. You didn't finish the fucking project. You just put a rock there. It's fucking stupid. And honestly, there's so much foot traffic. I mean, there isn't really a lot of foot traffic, but that was a chipmunk. But I mean, just from me walking like to and back and unloading that stuff, I mean, I walked a path into that grass pretty quickly. So I'd like to just do something so there's a footpath there that's a little more not grass. And then on the front of the house, on the, you know, I guess it would be the south side, in the front, I want to add that sidewalk. And I kind of want to add a fence in the front, like a smaller one. That you can just like push into the ground. Can't really add too much there because we have underground power lines, and they put a gas line through that side because they added gas to that neighborhood. We don't have gas, but you know, just shit like that. And on the actual south side of the house, there's a small flower bed that I think would be really good for growing, like, well, it's on the south side, so I'd like to grow some brambles There's no, there's not really, you can't really put trees there because of the lines and stuff. But where that flower bed is, I could plant like blueberry, raspberry, blackberry. Well, I'd basically make it a berry. Be a various berry fucking planting there. Which would be fucking awesome. I still gotta add some holly somewhere, because I like holly quite a bit. Not really too much I want to do to the backyard. I'd like to put a shed out back. I think that'd probably be about the last thing, because it'd be something nice to put my mower in. Store things like Christmas decorations and shit like that. Free up some room in my garage. See, we've been down all this bullshit with Indianola and everything. I mean, we are doing revisited roads, but damn you, coronavirus. That was gross. That's what's up. Yeah. I saw that they want to ban menthols because because black people disproportionately smoke them. Okay. So I read like 2 articles on this subject, and in each one of them, they asked this one guy, I'm assuming a guy, some black dude that fucking smokes menthols, and he's like, well, I mean, why they gotta be like just doing the one thing? You just ban cigarettes, they're unhealthy. I'm like, no sir, you're missing the point. Why aren't you mad that they're telling you what you can do? Like, and then they asked, like, the only person who was like, yeah, we shouldn't ban menthols was the person who worked at a tobacco store. And they're like, oh, this might cut into my business. This is a bad time to do that. Or around COVID, it's like, yeah, you're not wrong. But once again, the only answer that any of these people interviewed, the other one was, they asked some guy who was like, I don't know. Pretty much all of them were just, now clearly the media is not going to fucking put out a, hey, maybe we shouldn't let the FDA or the federal government have that much power over our fucking lives. But So that guy who says that probably won't get into the article. Oh, it's funny how they're like, well, we asked this menthol smoker, and they were like, well, why are they picking on menthols? Those cigarettes are bad, too. Please save us. It's like, no, motherfucker. And they were all pretty much answers like that, which is really fucking dumb. Oh, let's go down this neighborhood. We haven't, we've never gone down this one. Apparently there's no left turn there. Alright. It's kind of weird. It's a really nice little neighborhood they got going here. Just keep on cruising. See where it takes us. Beachwald Boulevard? I didn't know it went up this far. Ooh. Oh, I don't want to go off the edge of this motherfucker. Shit. Is that a real dog? I think it is. Oh, he's a good boy. He's just hanging out. Just being a fucking Chad. We'll just go around this other way. Azalea bush there. Oh, so I don't know. I highly doubt, and well, I'm not wording this right. So apparently someone has made a claim that our old friend Tonka Saw has been working at the Burger King, which is really funny. Hey, no shame in that. You gotta work at Burger King, work at fucking Burger King. No problem whatsoever. And has three childrens that he doesn't pay his child support on. Now, first of all, I doubt this. I doubt it because throughout all of the listenings of Talkasaw and like the years that he's been on there, he's never had a lot of, well, maybe this makes sense. He's never really spoken about what fathers should do, as far as I can tell. And like, which, I mean, he's never seemed like the kind of person who's ever been in that position, much less 3 times, right? You got to think, like, you have a kid with some chick, and you end up having 3 kids with the same girl. You're at least going to spend 4 to 5 years kind of being dad in some manner before you, before you have to pack your bags and move on like a rolling stone. But he's never been one to like talk about being a father or fatherly advice in any way, shape, or form, or anything of that nature. And I also think, given that all the controversy that this man has created, you'd have thought at some point the mother would have heard of this. And also, this is all coming from Night Beast, I guess, who was Davis, who was notorious for, I believe, catfishing Worski and just being a general, like, a guy he's a trickster, as it were. So I just don't think it's true. Mainly coming from the source. I haven't seen any receipts or paperwork about it. So I just don't see that as being a thing. On the other hand, it's really fucking funny, much like much like the what do you call it? The wheelchair meme. Hilarious as a fucking, just as an idea, as a thing that, could have been fucking a thing. The idea that this guy is like, he's a dad in a wheelchair and a deadbeat one is just funny to me. So I can see why people might attach onto it and want to make it a thing, because it's really funny. I mean, it's funny as an idea. But I just don't see it as being true. Like, I just don't. It just seems a little unlikely. Given, like, even if the guy's a liar and all this other shit, there's just some things that, like, I just don't get it. I mean, I suppose it's not impossible, but I just don't see it as likely. It doesn't seem to be within his it's not within his TP, as it were. Oh, man. stop sign, so there's no reason for me to stop. Really fucking nut. Oh my god. Look at this fucking house. That is dope as shit. That's nice. That's really fucking nice. There's like a whole big ass garage and a fucking big ass barn back there too. Who's ever got that place has got it hooked the fuck up. These are roads that I didn't even know. Look, we got wildlife. Look at the wildlife. You would make delicious fucking stuff. Come hang out. Come here. Come on. Come on. How friendly are you, dear? Come on. Come here. You're thinking about it. I can be a friend. A friend to you. No? No trust? Come on. Come get a little pet. Get a little pat on the nose. Come on. Get a little pet. A little pat on the nose there. Come on. Come on. Come on, hang out. Come on. I don't know. How do you deer call? How do they talk to each other? How do I speak in deer? Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Lady. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to misgender you. Come on. You're a little friend, too. You can get a little scratch behind the ear. Maybe? No? Maybe? No? Not gonna do it? You want to? Yeah, come on. Alright. Now we'll go. They just never know. They could have made a friend. Could have made a friend. I'd have shit my pants if that deer fucking came in stuck by its head in my window. I'd have grabbed it, stabbed it. Fucking right in the fucking neck and threw it in my trunk. Ate that motherfucker. Like. Just here. Fucking blood all over my seat. Oh, that would have been fucking awesome. And say I killed a deer with my bare hand. With my bare hands. Probably wouldn't actually touch that deer because those motherfuckers got ticks and shit. I ain't trying to have ticks. This is not the road I want to go down. Not at all. Hate to make those emergency maneuvers, but this is the one I want to go down. And I want to be in this lane. I think I'll just get some more white cranberry, peach white cranberry juice. Maybe just have some mac and cheese or something. Yesterday, had a nice little pork chop with a baked potato. That was good. Tomorrow, having a nice roast with some mashed potatoes and maybe some carrots. Gotta love that shit. Nice, well-rounded diet. Meat and potatoes and carrots. It's actually quite good. I mean, I eat a lot of fucking chicken salad for lunch a lot of times. I find myself like that peach, white cranberry peach fucking grape juice. It's not grape. I don't know why I said grape. Just peach white cranberry. I find myself, the addiction is not going away. A lot of times you'll get something, you'll really like it, and then like you kind of fades. It's not. Right now I'm just wishing I had I wish I had it at work. I wish I had it right here in the car with me. I'm sipping on that shit all day. Wonder if I can get a cranberry bush going. I thought they were water. It was a water plant. I don't know. I hate pedestrians. Oh, check out this old fucking Caprice Classic. That's fucking nice. It's in really good shape too. I mean, a little fucking paint ding here and there, a little rust, but that's back when like you could actually buy a Chevy and be like, oh, this is a good car. Used to love 80s GM. Well, I still love 80s GM, but I mean, I was always a Ford guy. But at least back then, when you bought a fucking American car, it was a decent fucking vehicle. Anyway, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed it.